And we're back. Hey, everybody. It's yet another fun filled, exciting episode of 99 Problems, but a Stitcher Ain't One. Welcome now to episode 17. Can you believe it? Episode 17, that far along. We got 17 episodes. And this one is called Marvel Team Up Power Couples.
Oh,
Yeah. And with me, I'm Damian Harmony, wearing not a jumper because it's not that cold over here. And with me, as always, is the inestimable Iain. Iain, how you doing?
yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm not wearing a jumper either. It is freaking 12 o'clock in the morning. But it has been beautiful over here today. It's been really
Lovely.
nice.
Nice.
Um,
Good.
oh,
Is it normally that nice over there at this time of year?
no, we have 3 days of summer a year, and that is it.
Uh, it's nice to hear that you, and do they go concurrently or is it, or,
They're
are
usually
they,
concurrently, you get sort of three
oh,
days. It's usually during the week when everyone's working.
naturally.
But yeah, it's been, I don't even know what date. This is Friday, isn't it? Well,
Yes. I
not
just finished work.
not anymore for me, but
Uh,
yeah, I hope if anyone can hear us, oh, they can now. Right, okay, right, cool. I was just worried that our Twitch stream wasn't up, but it's up, and no
oh,
one's
good.
watching. Yay! So come
Hey.
on, people, where are you? Not that you can hear me because you're not watching, but it's more of a. Is that rhetorical? I'm not sure if that is technically a rhetorical
I think we're
question.
I think
Um,
you're trying to manifest it is really what it is.
yeah.
So, yeah. So, well, cool. Any cool news for you? Any new characters you're going after? Any cool milestones that you've hit?
Well, there's been a blog post within the last, I don't know, kind of couple of hours, I think, that Colleen Wing is coming into the game.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Okay, I guarantee you she'll pair well with Iron Fist. And if it's Colleen Wing, are we going to also see a Misty Knight character?
Quite possibly. I sort of can, in the rumor mill type thing, we have sort of heard that name as well. So that we are getting Colleen Wing, we might very well be getting Misty Knight. For a Heroes for Hire team, teaming up with Iron Fist, Luke Cage, and Jessica Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Because
That would
those
be
are
awesome.
three
Yeah.
characters that sort of start of the game, they're pretty good for you. They can get you through
Mm-hmm.
quite a good few campaigns and get you sort of a good grounding in the game. But then they just drop off and they are useless. They're fodder. So they have needed a sort of a decent team or a rework for a while. Obviously, Daredevil's gone to Shadowlands, and Punisher, who
Mm.
wasn't even a defender anyway,
Right.
has got the skill military tag. Hello,
Mm-hmm.
Jessica. Did you enjoy the pun off tonight?
Look at you advertising other shows on this one.
Oh yeah, UK pun off. More than
Might as
one
well.
bow to the, no more than one string to the bow.
There you go.
None of them fire straight, but hey, it's about what you make of
I was gonna say spoken like a Welshman, but a little different. But
them.
well,
I
cool.
had a
Okay, so
great Welsh
Colleen.
joke on the show tonight as well.
Oh, was there?
Yeah,
Oh man, I promised to go, but then I didn't. So I guess I kind of Welshed on the Welsh
you
joke.
Welsh on the Welsh joke.
Yeah.
Don't even know what that
So
means. It's one.
oh, in America, when you welch on something, it's you go back on it.
All right,
You go back on your word.
all right, okay. One of those
Yeah.
aluminum Tunisia, fucking herbs type thing. Fucking
Right.
herbs. Jesus, man.
Herbs.
I'm on grips.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so we've got Colleen Wing coming in.
Nice.
I
Nice.
think like having a very brief look at her kit. If I could work this technology a little bit better, I'd be able to get it up on screen, but I can't. So
Hmm.
hey, you get what you pay for, hey
Yeah.
fellas.
Exactly.
So yeah, but a very brief look at her kit. She looks as if she could be quite useful, dealing a lot of sort of bleeds and assists and things like that. So yeah, it could be pretty cool.
Nice. That'd be fun. That'd be fun. So, Colleen Wing kind of gets me thinking. First off, by the way, before I get any further down that road, let me back up just a skosh. I, Gesundheit. I unlocked the purple-headed Nazi.
Is that a euphemism, Damien? I went to the
No, I haven't
bathroom
lost
and I
that much weight.
unlocked the purple
Uh,
headed Nazi.
no, that's only when I had an Austrian girlfriend. No, I unlocked Zemo. I actually
Mr.
got Zemo.
Zemo.
So yeah, now I'm forced to, because of the event
Mm-hmm.
of Zemo Cap, or Zemo what's his face,
Vulcan.
Winter Soldier and Falcon. I'm forced to kind of start updating Zemo. So
Well, just can I bear in mind that that event sort of finishes, I think it's tomorrow.
oh well, then I'm fine. I
So,
only got through one of them, so
yeah.
that'll do, pig.
I mean, on that event itself, I've not managed to. Um, where is the event? I've not managed to do the third one. I
Mm,
can't do the third one.
okay.
Possibly because I refuse to upgrade the necessary characters.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, my Falcon, well, let's have a look at how good they are. Falcon and Cap, pretty good. Zemo, it's alright. Winter Soldier is a dud, and I'm just
Hmm.
not upgrading Winter Soldier just for this event. The rewards are quite good for it. If
Yeah.
you did go to upgrade them, or even at the kind of lower or mid levels, I mean, they are good rewards for just essentially having sort of half decent characters, but it's
Mhm.
not something that you should actively pursue upgrading Winter Soldier.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
Zemo, yeah, he is very useful. He's a wonderful character, and
Yeah,
in
put him
game,
with Hydra, I would
yeah, in
imagine.
game, of course, and sort of in, I was going to say in real life, but I think you know what I mean. He's quite the despicable man, as
Yes,
is
yes.
Captain
I
America
like
as
that you
well.
actually have to come out anti-Nazi now. So
Well, after
it's nice to see.
after the events of the last month, I do think I have to sort of distance myself when I am broadcasting. I don't like the Nazis. They're dicks.
I,
Um,
I was gonna let you do that. I wasn't gonna do much of the heavy lifting there. But
um, Jessica's telling us that she's gained Cable, Quake, and Mordo recently.
oh, very
Very well
nice, very
done.
nice.
On those ones, Quake, she can do a
Yeah.
job when you're for building up the shield team.
Yep.
Mordo was one that at the start I really didn't like. He was a bit sort of Yondu-ish for me in that there
Hmm.
wasn't much use for him. In Supernaturals, which if I recall, I think Jessica has already got at least three of them. I don't know if Mordo is
Hmm.
one of them. He is quite essential in that. Mordo's a great character. Absolutely love Mordo. Cable, my second 7 red star pull. He's my Cable.
Wow.
I absolutely love Cable. He's a great character in the the X Force team.
Hmm.
He's absolutely brilliant. Sort of speed down stuff like that. And you've just
Nice.
got Jessica Jones as well. Um,
Well, that's home name advantage there.
Name advantage, yeah. Um,
Yeah.
but no other advantage because she's shit. No, she's all right. She's all right. I mean, she does do a job. She's good at cleansing. I mean, she's very good at
Hmm.
She's a very good cleaner. Is that sexist? I don't know.
If it is, that's Scopely's fault, not ours.
Indeed.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
she's very good at like cleansing the debuffs on your own team, and she gives out energy as well with her middle move.
I think she probably is good at cleaning though, or cleansing, mostly because she's 39% vodka. So
So it's more sterilizing than it's the
yeah,
sterilizing
yeah,
aspect
exactly,
of cleaning.
exactly.
And
So
everyone needs a little internal clean these days.
there you
Nowadays,
go.
especially, no, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that, Damien. Stop. If you can lip read, I'll say it. Especially women when we get their smear test. But I didn't say it out loud, so if you can lip
No,
read, then that was quite naughty. Um,
you
it
you
wasn't.
forgot to hit the mute button.
Oh,
Yeah.
live and learn.
Well, this will be our last episode. No, we'd have to have listeners to be bothered by that.
Yeah, and
Um,
then we'd come back in a month after uh, an
right.
apology.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's ever happened recently.
Well, not on this side of the pond. No. We just blow right through needing to apologize and keep pretending like things are okay. It's called manifesting. It's good. So, okay, you just mentioned Cable,
Yeah.
and I have a question for you. Does Cable pair well with Deadpool?
Yeah, they do have quite a decent bit of synergy between them.
Because I know that they have a cool cinematic. So I was wondering how that translates into the game in terms of like actual gameplay. Because I know their cinematic is cool, but does it cause a lot more damage?
It does cause decent bit of damage. Yeah, you get an assist on his big move, as it were,
Nice.
from Deadpool, and on this one, I'm not sure if you do get anything from Deadpool, but I think it's his passive that really sort of helps out with. If we can just scroll down, no, it's not working. But yeah, they do sort of team up, and as you say, a pretty cool cinematic where they both
Hmm.
launch someone into the air, and that is generally the end of them. Especially when you got
Right.
7 red stars. Um,
Jeez Louise.
but yeah, but I mean, there's loads of kind of. I mean, that's just got me to thinking. What other kind of like power couples have you got in the game?
Well, sticking with Deadpool for a second,
Mm.
Deadpool and Domino. I threw a grenade with her, and she threw it over to Deadpool, and he played hacky sack with it,
Keepy
and then
uppies.
kicked it back to her, and then I was hoping that that just wasn't cinematic, that actually gave a bonus.
It probably does. I mean,
Okay.
nothing really happens in the game for no reason. Um,
True.
whereas it fire in the hole, I'd get
Yeah.
that scene too. Maybe some canister. Um, do you have that over there? I don't know. Yeah, so where are we? Where are we? If Deadpool's an ally, transfer negative effects.
Jeez.
Is that still? Where
Okay.
are we? Where are we? It's still not going down. But yeah, basically there's synergy there with Deadpool. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Filling speed bar, that's basically what it is, which is always helpful for
Oh,
Deadpool because he's got some big
yes.
moves, some hard hitting moves, but he's a little bit squishy. He's a little bit on the squishy
Mm-hmm.
side. So getting his moves in when you can
Yeah.
um, is,
Okay.
is always really helpful.
Do you have a favorite power couple? Because I mean, I know I do,
Oh,
but I'm curious as to what yours is.
mine's well, at the moment, it's got to be Mr. Longship and Shitterstar. They pair up wonderfully well. They are just their passives, um,
Mm-hmm.
just filling speed bar and healing and critical chance and what's that stuff called? The fortifying thing, the armory.
Mm-hmm.
There's a word for it in the game. I
Oh,
don't.
like the barrier that they
The
put on each other.
barrier, that's the one. That's why you're up at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and I'm past my
That's right.
bedtime. Yeah, those two guys, they complement each other really well. Just
Nice.
giving each other little sort of boosts here and there.
Okay.
There are some other ones as well, but I'm very keen to hear yours, Mr. Harmon.
Yeah, I really like Wanda and Vision
Ah,
together.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just it's this little extra twist at the end that she gives. He does this cool move, and then at the very end, also it's a bleed. Like it's just like a final fu to the other team.
Yeah,
I like
totally.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it sparked off of Vision's ultimate or big move, and
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, and he does an area of effect, which is actually very similar to Iron Man and Captain America. Their special
it
move
is.
together.
Yeah. Funnily enough, he was my very first 7 Red Star pool Iron Man, as I think we've previously discussed, which is why I whaled
Hmm.
on Ironheart
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
my eternal not shame, but I should have known better.
Consternation. Yeah.
That's why you're the teacher of words. Yeah, so but they are very kind of similar moves. The Vision and Scarlet Witch one is probably better in that it
Mm.
deals the bleeds, whereas the Iron Man and Captain America one is just raw damage. It's not
Right.
even that much more damage, really. It's a decent bit of damage, but
Hmm.
again, it kind of always helps when you've got red stars and sort of the higher level to deal that bit of more damage. It does
Mm-hmm.
help,
Okay. Is there anybody in the Black Order who pair up, who can do extra damage with each
Yeah,
other?
well, Proxima and what's his name? Corvus.
Oh,
I
okay.
can't remember if it's on this move. It tells you, but
Mm-hmm.
basically, Proxima will always assist. I can't get my words out. Proxima will always assist on Corvus's basic move. Um,
I love
let's
that.
see,
I
is it
love
north
that.
of here? Da, 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 da.
There you
It could be. It's probably not. Let's see if it's in the basic. Yeah, this attack cannot be blocked. His basic move. If Proxima is an ally, this attack cannot be dodged.
go.
It's up there. It says
Wow.
50% chance to gain an assist. If you
Nice.
T4'd it, you always gain the assist from Proxima, but I'm not spending 100 grand on that. Not just yet.
Okay.
It was very useful, but Black Order, well, there's other T4s that I want to put in the Black Order before that one. Let me tell thee.
Mm-hmm.
So any other ones that sort of catch your eye when you're sort of playing through it?
So when I'm playing, I'm trying to think. No, but I as the consummate comic book fan and geek that I am, I wonder if there's not team ups that I just haven't had a chance to take a look at. For instance, Juggernaut and the Blob. Do they have anything?
Not Juggernaut and the Blob, I don't think,
Okay.
but Juggernaut and Magneto do.
Okay, because I was going to ask about Magneto and Toad.
So they those two sort of couples more aligned with each other than.
Hmm.
I always thought Blob and Toad went sort of together, but
They're sold in the same store, but comic book
mhm.
wise, Toad always stuck really well with Magneto. I mean, he was called Toad for a
Mm,
reason. Whereas the Blob was more friends with a guy named Unus the Untouchable.
right.
And unfortunately, he doesn't exist. But since Juggernaut is the irresistible force, and Blob is the unmovable
Mm.
object, I was hoping they'd
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
make a make a pudgy guy sandwich or something. So
Not in this game, but that would be a great
okay.
cinematic. Do you not think? Just them to kind of
Yep.
just sort of
Yep.
crushing someone to dust.
Yeah. Instead of just like, the punching back and forth thing that you see with, a lot of generic
Yeah.
ones. What about Kingpin and Bullseye? Do they have?
Not overly. You
Okay.
get the. I mean, there's no sort of like graphical um, team up or
Okay.
anything like that. Um, Probably because it was something that I was speaking to um, cheeky geek talk about um,
Hmm.
the other week. I can't do it in there. I'm just going to go randomly to any old thing. Basically, the synergies between teams. These numbers that should be yep, there we go. The 6666664. They're basically, if you click on them, that's
Hmm.
all the kind of the synergy moves that they get with each other. So if you did
Nice.
have um, Kingpin and Bullseye up there, because they're roughly the same sort of thing. They're both city, both villains,
Right.
probably
I
something
mean,
else.
Kingpin used to hire Bullseye to attack Daredevil, so that's what I was thinking. So okay. What about War Machine and Iron Man? Do they have anything?
I mean, they've got their if they're both if they both spawn at the same time, they
Hmm.
each get a death proof. But apart from that, there's
Okay.
nothing really sort of between them. Apart from
Okay.
again the sort of the numbers and the synergy, they do feed off each other. Um,
Whoa, look at that. Cheeky Geek Talk has doubled her roster since watching our tutorials and such.
Next
So
one, watching
nice.
tutorials and
Yeah.
such. I'd like to know what the
Hmm.
such is. But I mean, it's good that we can all sort of help each other out. Yeah, and
Yeah.
she's got Kingpin as well.
Mm-hmm.
He can be very useful at the start. I mean, is the best move that he's very slow. That's his problem. He's very
Yeah.
slow.
Yeah.
But if you can get to his big move, it's giving
Mm-hmm.
offense and defense up to the whole team, which
Right.
is invaluable. But you've got to
Yeah.
get him to there first. Um,
Yeah.
Not that he's squishy at all. I mean, he can generally get there. But end
Mm-hmm.
game, he's not that useful. But certainly, sort of early mid game, he's definitely got his uses. He's definitely got his uses.
Nice.
He's Kingpin. He's just a big kind of immovable object.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let me think.
One
Who
that
else?
I
Oh,
always loved
yeah.
was this chap and his cheeky little raccoon pal. I love this the
Oh, yeah. There
cinematic
you go.
with the area of effect that
Mm-hmm.
Rocket does with Groot. It's
Mm-hmm.
just it's so much fun. It got me through Dark Dimension 2, or was it 1? Can't
Oh,
remember.
wow.
But yeah, BKT, that was a kind of meta team about a year and a half, maybe even 2 years ago,
Okay.
which was basically um, what's his name? Groot, Rocket, Star Lord, Minerva, and Thanos.
Oh,
You could
wow.
just
That's
absolutely
an
rip through Dark Dimension with that.
okay.
Um, yeah, you could explain why if you want,
Okay.
but
Let- Well, yeah. Please do.
well,
Why not?
basically you've got Thanos and you have Star Lord basically as batteries for
Mm.
For Rocket. So whenever an enemy gets killed from
Mm-hmm.
the opposition, obviously, then his energy is distributed to his
Mm-hmm.
nearby allies, and if you've got Rocket there, and it can go to him, and he can get his area of effect off pretty much every second turn. And then you've got Star Lord feeding him as well. If you've got Minerva,
Oh,
she's
wow.
doing the heal up
Mm-hmm.
all the time, healing
Right.
everyone up. And if you wanted to, you could have her positioned where Thanos is giving her the energy. You've got Groot,
Nice.
obviously giving you the max,
Death proof.
the death proof, and the bigger
Mm-hmm.
bonus for Rocket's area of effect. It's great fun. Great fun doing that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let me think. Let's say Hawkeye and Black Widow. I assume they've got
Yeah,
something.
they do now. They didn't have for the longest time. Um,
Okay.
so they basically assist each other. It's a little bit like the Proxima and Corvus mechanic.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Especially if you've got Skirmisher on
Mm-hmm.
Hawkeye, if I remember rightly.
Okay.
I'm assuming I just went past her. Too many redheads on this level. I don't
That is so
watch
true
everything.
in all of life. So
Um, but yeah, they do assist each other pretty well.
okay.
You always again assist now on an allied Hawkeye's turn. So you're basically getting the assist every time once you've got the T4
Nice.
on her. Um, but again, it's quite an upgrade. It depends how much you're putting into that team. But that's only been there within, I don't know, well, since you got a rework, which was 4 or 5 months ago, maybe a bit longer.
Okay.
Time's just flying. We're almost into the 5th month of the year.
Oh my Lord, you're right.
It'll be,
Yeah, she's fun because she works with Shield and so does he.
mm,
So you can, put together three heroes on a Shield team and then just round it out with a couple other Shield folk.
yeah.
And that seems to work pretty well for me. So I like that. Okay, so she and Hawkeye are good.
Mm,
Just keep assisting each other. Cool. Well, okay. So here's as a comic book geek, I
mm-hmm.
gotta say, or at least a lapsed comic book geek. I gotta ask, what if you have Colossus and Wolverine? Can you do the fastball special?
The fastball special, well, you'll need to sort of educate me a little bit in that. Now, can I ask, is the fastball
Mm-hmm.
special basically
Mm-hmm.
Colossus launching Wolverine into someone?
Yes.
Then, no, you can't. Oh, no, yeah.
Oh.
Of course, yeah,
Oh,
you
you can.
can, yeah.
Oh, good.
How would I
Good.
know otherwise? Yeah, that is on Wolverine's big move. I'm going to keep calling them big
Mm-hmm.
moves and little moves. Or no,
Sure.
little moves, middle moves, and big moves, because that's what my son calls
Oh, good,
them.
because little and middle don't sound at all alike, so that'll be easy to differentiate.
Especially with my 100 mile an hour accent. You're welcome. If we can find Wolverine, because he'll be down a
I
little
do love your accent because it's just like, oh, who needs consonants?
bit.
Well, leave that to the Welsh. I'll just keep going with all the gutturals. It'll be great.
So there you go. There's Primal Berserker. Basically,
Oh, wow.
Wolverine's big move. Normally it's 610% damage, piercing damage as well, which
Mm-hmm.
is very important. You know the importance
Yes.
of piercing damage?
It gets right to the heart of the matter.
Essentially, yeah. If anyone's got
Yeah.
any sort of defense up or any sort of armor on them or fortify on them, barrier, I think
Mm-hmm.
we called it, that's basically blasting through that. But it's saying if
Right.
Colossus is
Ignored.
an ally, you get 710%
Very nice. Very
damage,
nice.
which is, I mean, it's a huge move. He's absolute trash at the moment, which again, it's always
Yeah.
a bugbear of mine because, again, as we've said before, I'm not the biggest sort of comic book fan or whatever. I'm more an MCU fan.
Mm-hmm.
But before it all sort of came out, like what, 10 years ago maybe, I always knew about
Mm-hmm.
Spidey, Hulk, and Wolverine, and always really liked
Sure.
Wolverine. So it's a bit of a, I mean, it's a shame that he's not better. I don't think he's going to get any better unless Hugh Jackman makes another film. Um, but hey, and that's
Yeah.
another thing. Why is Hugh Jackman never look like that in the film?
Oh, like what we see
Yeah.
here? Well, what you see here is from the
Yeah,
comic. Like, yeah.
and the
I see what you're
cartoons
saying.
as well.
Uh,
But in the
be,
films,
be,
he's basically a man.
because the guy who originally made the X-Men movie, while he did a good job in a lot of ways, he'd never read the X-Men comics. And so he said, "Well, I'm going to make it look realistic and not like a comic book." And everybody kind of looked at him sideways, like a Saint Bernard, and he went ahead and did that anyway.
Right.
And he would give little things in there. It was this horribly abusive relationship with fans. He would put little things in there, like at one point, Cyclops says, "Would you prefer yellow spandex?" And all of us fans are like, "Yes, we would." Uh, no. Or like he'd put like a phoenix on the back of Jean Grey's jacket,
Right.
stuff like that. Just little things that would let us know. And then I mean, they're still fine movies for what they were at the
Mm.
time. Tobey Maguire did a fine job as Spider-Man at the time. So it still beats the hell out of the Fantastic Four and the Captain America movie from the
Yeah.
1980s. So yeah.
I
So
think another reason I'd like Wolverine as well is that he sports my favourite colour combination, which is yellow and a sort of lightish blue.
hmm
Now, why is that your favourite colour? Well, I'm glad you asked, Amy. I don't know if you did, but are you aware of the ZX Spectrum? No,
no.
it's a 128-bit computer. Basically from the 80s. It's like the
hmm
MacBook Pro of its time, basically for playing games.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
it's when games were loaded by cassette. Half of the people, if there were people watching, I bet half of them wouldn't even know what a fucking cassette was.
Now, do you mean by 3.5 inch across floppy disk?
No, a cassette. Do you not know what
An
a
actual
cassette?
cassette,
A cassette tape that you would play music from.
like where you could rewind it.
Yeah, that you can put in, and if it unwound at the tape or whatever it was, film, whatever it was, unwound at
Yeah,
the
you
bottom, you could get a
use your
pencil.
pencil.
Yeah, that kind of cassette tape.
Oh
There were games
wow.
on it.
Okay.
My goodness, I thought you guys were the land of technology, even though you've invented fuck all of it.
I stepped over a lot of it. Apparently, I went straight to cartridge games
Right.
because and whatnot. Cassettes were just for music.
Yeah,
Um.
games on
Yeah.
cassettes, man.
Okay.
It was the
Okay. All right.
future. But anyway, point of the story. The games, some of the games took minutes to load, literally 2 or 3 minutes. But some of the bigger
Mm-hmm.
games could take like an hour to load. The
Good
Batman
heavens.
game specifically took about an hour to load. Yeah, it was. Cause I mean, there were like 60 or 90-minute tapes. Sometimes you'd have to turn them over for it to load. Anyway, point of the story: the loading screens at the side of it had a kind of picture in the middle. Let's have a little play about with this, and I shall try and. Right, so, hello! Imagine my face was like a Batman sign. To the right and left of me, sort of horizontal lines would be lines of code, basically, but they were coloured. And the colours were either red and black, or they were blue and yellow. And I always really liked the sort of blue and yellow sort of colour scheme. It kind of reminded me of a simpler time when you could load games that took an hour.
On cassette.
Yeah, maybe it's a Clockwork Orange type thing. I was just staring at the blue and yellow for so long that, yeah, I did want a bit of the old in and out.
Oh, Lordy. Well, those guys were dressed all in white, so it'd be a different team anyway. But the X-Men in normal times, they would dress in blue and yellow. And the reason for this is that there's, I don't know if you're familiar with the color theory of superheroes. But what's that, you ask? Well, I'll tell you, Ian. The color theory of superheroes is if you actually go back to your roster, you'll notice that almost all, and if you click on heroes, you will notice that almost all of your heroes.
Can I try and work this out then?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see if I can find the common theme. If it's not there, then please let me know.
Not. All right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. By and large, this is holding true still. I mean, there are a few exceptions, but by and large,
green and blue is quite prevalent, as is red.
Well, yeah.
Does that got anything to do with
So you got red and blue,
and they're all white guys.
Yeah. Well,
or is that just a society at large type thing?
Yeah. Well, consider who was drawing at the time. But some of the green that you're seeing are the newer heroes, the ones that came out in the 70s. Right. But most of the time, you're going to find primary colors for the good guys. And if you go look at your bad guys now, look at your villains.
Are we looking at shades here, perhaps?
Now, what colors keep popping up big time with your villains?
Well, white and black. Quite a few reds.
Now, a lot of those reds are offset from the heroic red.
Well,
they're bloody.
Pyro was a goodie at one point, was he not?
If he was, it was short-lived. He mostly was with the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
Right. It was probably only in about 10 minutes in that one X-Men film. But,
yeah.
Yeah, we're looking at a lot of white and black, really.
Yeah. You're also looking at a lot of sickly green colors.
Sickly green.
Look at your Hydra. Look at your AIM. Look at who else? Look at Electro's clothing. Corvus Glaive has a green tint to him. Mordo, Toad. Okay. So a lot of sickly green.
Can see that.
A lot of purple. The higher up the leadership cast you go, a lot of purple. And the crazier your bad guy gets, the more orange they'll wear, or the more orange they'll have.
So what? Right, primary colours for good guys. So how do you categorise the bad guys' colours?
Secondary.
That's quite wide, though, is it not?
It is, but you paint with a broad brush to save time. But what you'll find is a large amount of your bad guys, about 80% of them, will have as their main colors a combination of secondary colors. And then a large proportion, about 90% of your good guys, their main colors will typically be primary colors. And here's where it gets interesting. Like I said, if you're in the bad guys section, if you're in the bad guy section, if they're wearing purple, they're usually the leader of a team. If they're wearing orange, Their mentality is off from the norm. They're considered criminally insane typically, or their ideas are so revolutionary as to be a threat to the capitalist power structure. And if they're wearing a green, it's usually a sickly green, and it speaks to a moral and or physical healthful degeneration within them.
Right.
And that's your secondaries. Your primaries, if it's blue, it's typically a nobility aspect to them, and or a sacrifice to them. Like, so noble character, not necessarily having land and title. But it's a nobility of character. If there's a yellow, it usually means they're an exemplar of some sort. And if it's red, it typically means self-sacrifice. So if you think about Spider-Man, the red and the blue. If you think about the X-Men, they're all exemplars because they're mutants, and they're misunderstood by society. So they're kind of exemplary in that way. And also there's the nobility of what they're doing, the sacrifice that they are being asked to do. And then you get to guys like, the All-American Boy Scout, and it's very much the red, white, and the blue. So it's the courage and the nobility of it and stuff. And it holds pretty well, even when people will say to me stuff like, well, hey, wait a minute, Damian, what about the Hulk? I'll point out that he is a split personality, and he was the leader in his field of atomic gamma energy. So you've got the green and the purple still. And he mostly wants to be left alone, and half the time the good guys encounter him, they treat him like a villain. So, and then you could backfill with all kinds of other colors and some interesting little stuff here and there. So, but by and large, if a superhero has green on them, they used to be a bad guy.
Right.
Or they're a naturalist. So,
deep diving into.
I got a whole episode about that on my podcast. So, because of course I do. Okay, so back to the power couples before we wrap this up. Are there any power couples that are surprising? Things that I might not have thought about power couple wise? Are there any that you want to put me onto that I can impress my children with?
No.
Okay, fair enough. There's Wasp and the Ant-Man. I figured those two. So anybody who's been romantically linked, the odds are they will have a power couple.
Pretty much. Wasp and Ant-Man do have a little kind of cinematic where Ant-Man grows big and does a big fist, does a bit of fisting into the ground. That's it. Let's have a little look.
No, he stomps. His daughter fists.
Does he? Not used Ant-Man in a while because he's shit, but
yeah, no, he gets up and stomps, and then what's her name? Stature. She comes flying down with her fist.
No, does Ant-Man? No, wait a minute. Thank you. When Ant-Man and Wasp team up, does Ant-Man not grow big and does a big stomp, a big fist slam into the ground?
I don't think so. I think that he gets small and so does she, and they just flit about. But to be honest, I don't even think I have the Wasp.
A Wasp.
Yeah.
That's what we've been talking about throughout this show. Wasps. I don't know if that. Yeah, obviously does mean the same thing. Judging by that reaction. Yeah, I'm sure. Well, he does.
Over here, it means white Anglo-Saxon Protestants.
Yes, it does. Same over here.
Okay.
Yeah, so Ant-Man and Wasp, they do team up. They have a cinematic together, and I'm just going to say it because it's what happens. They team up. Ant-Man gets bigger, and he crashes either a fist. I think it's a fist or a foot, but I think it's a fist into the ground.
The end of an extremity, either way.
Indeed it is.
Yes.
And who else team up together? For any sort of cool animations? Not sure there is anyone. There might be someone in X-Men. I'd be surprised if there wasn't. But I don't use mine, so I wouldn't know.
What about Shuri and the Black Panther?
No, none of the Wakandans do anything with each other because they are dog dirt.
Oh, that's a bummer. Well, it does make sense though. The different tribes and what.
Yeah. And why Storm isn't there? Who knows? Who knows? The Queen of Wakanda ain't there.
They get divorced. which is still one of the most heartbreaking comic books I've ever read, by the way.
Right.
It's wonderfully done. It really is. What about Carnage and Venom? Do they have anything together?
Just try to think of any of those two guys. Don't do any of the other symbiotes have anything? I don't think they do. They're too fast
Okay.
once you get them going for them to team up
To
together.
notice, yeah. Just a
So,
whole bunch of tendrils flying. It's like some weird hentai.
but yeah, there's probably a good
Okay.
few that we've sort of missed out, but
Sure.
I think we've
People can put that in the comments down below.
absolutely put in the comments what your favourite team up in Marvel Strike Force is. The ones that we've not mentioned, remind us because it's 20 to 1 in the morning for me and my brain ain't working.
And you know what? While you're at it, tell us which ones you think should be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, should there be a bit of synergy with the kind of the Wakandans? And what would that look like? I don't know. Supernatural, should they have their bit misfitty, but should AIM have something together? Should Hydra have some sort of you know when have you got Human Torch?
I
You know
do.
when he does his I think it's his big move, but he basically leaves the Fantastic Four, he burns it into the ground.
Yes. Yes.
Do you think Hydra should have something similar? Where they burn a big symbol, let's just call it, into the ground? That would probably get the game shut down, to be perfectly frank. But I don't know.
Oh, I think if they
Spitball.
left the Hydra symbol, it would be safe. I think if they left anything else, it'd be a problem.
Quite possibly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's about it for all the sort of the power couples. So have you got anything that you're working towards this week?
I have still not found success in mission 7/1 of the heroes. And I have put a good deal of effort and energy into getting all of my street heroes, my city heroes, up to level 60, and that's still not cutting the cheese.
No.
So I've put a bunch of ISOs on them as well, and still no luck. So I'm gonna start putting them up to, and they're all gear 10, and that's still not enough. So I'm gonna be putting more effort toward getting them up still, because I really want to get into that upper echelon, and also I want to kind of finish that story.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's the aim, isn't it? No pun intended.
no, the aim's different mission. So
And you do need aim for that mission. They are very good. Either them or Hydra. Just depends who you've got.
And I got to tell you, I just found out that Hulu, and they're not paying me any money to say this, but for the love of the game, Hulu has a MODOK TV series coming out.
All right.
And my son and I were ecstatic about that, as one of his favorite characters of all time, always has been, which is odd for an 11-year-old, but it was even odder for a 6-year-old. So,
Well, this is stuck with it.
yeah, exactly. So, cool. Well,
my only aim,
where can people...
My only aim for this week is getting this man to tier 15. Then I can continue on my Dark Dimension 4 journey to get Doom.
Oh, I like how you have to get Thanos to get Doom.
You don't have to, but hey, if it makes the story a little bit more sort of believable, or a little bit whatever other words are, I don't know, man.
Credible.
Credible, that's the one I was looking for.
There you go.
But yeah, I just need more of these bad boys. And a few more of these.
Oh, okay.
I have upgraded very recently. Commander Rory has reached tier 15 for Orc and 15 for Scream.
Oh,
so they're going to serve me well a little bit later on. But for now, I need either Thanos or Longship.
Okay.
But it's probably Thanos will be easier. I don't know. But that's my aims for this week.
Nice. I accidentally got Thor as my most powerful guy now. He is sitting there at 5 red stars, and just, Yeah, so he's level 4 out of 200.
There
So,
is no shame in having
he's,
Thor as your best character.
yeah,
Absolutely none.
yeah, he's right ahead of Scarlet Witch, and she is about 3,000 ahead of Captain America. So, just keep plugging away at all of them.
That's all you can do. It's a marathon. It's a never-ending marathon. Not a
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
sprint.
Yeah. All right. Well, do we need to tell people where to find us, or just to hit that subscribe button?
Yeah, just hit the subscribe, share, like button, comment,
Yeah.
wherever it is that you're watching us. Give us a follow,
Mm-hmm.
tell your friends about it, tell some enemies as well
Please
if you
do.
want. We don't really care, we just want the viewership. So it's
Exactly.
Excelsior Gaming on YouTube, it's iMcPun on Twitch, and yeah, that is us, I think, for this week. I don't think we've put out any tutorial videos this week, or we might have done, I'm not sure, can't remember if I did or not.
If we did, I think it's the last
It would
two.
have been the last two if we did.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we did, but check it out. Excelsior Gaming
Yeah.
on YouTube. It's got
All right.
all the past live streams on it. It's got all the tutorial videos to help you out early game. If you've got any requests for any kind of tutorials, any things that you'd like us to go over, drop us a message, stick a comment in the comment section, and we'll certainly get onto it for you.
All right. Well, until next time, everybody say goodnight because Excelsior.